Say you don't know what you got till it's gone. I say you don't know what you got until it's gone and moved on without you and you can't get it back. I know I added a lot of stuff, but that's just what experience tells me. And that's what I just told a young lady who asked me, about the relationship that just ended. Does her man even miss her? Does he regret losing her? She said she was such a great woman. Does he even know that he really messed up in a relationship now that he's trying to get her back? And sometimes a dude ain't gonna be trying to get you back, but you can still know whether or not he even regrets losing you. It feels any type of remorse, feels any type of like consciousness about what he put you through. If he was the one that messed things up and if you were a good woman in a relationship. But before we get into that, because I do want to get into it, how to know for a fact that a man is in regret about losing you. Let me make sure you guys can hear and see me okay. I just pulled over side of the road so I can make sure that you guys get this message before I lose my thoughts. But put your city and state if you can hear and see me okay. Put your city and state down in the comments. If you can hear and you can see me, or give me some type of reaction, like, thumb up, or heart, or whatever you can do, so I know that you guys can hear and see me okay before we really get into it. And once I see that, I know that we are good. All right, we good. See him coming in. All right, so real quick, like I said, a woman asked me, D, how do I know that he even cares that he lost me? She fought for a relationship for a while, just ended it. Dude is asking to get back, and she's like wondering, is there any genuine regret, genuine remorse about him losing me? So I'm gonna say a couple of things on this. First, let's just go ahead and directly deal with it, no fluff. How to know if a man regrets losing you? Well, the first thing you gotta understand is if you were good in a relationship, and there is a difference between being a good woman and being good in the relationship. Just because you're a good woman doesn't automatically mean you showed up well in a relationship. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But if you showed up for him, if you held him down, if you believed in him, if you encouraged him, if you sacrificed for him, if you did for him, if you met all of his express needs, he said do this, you did it, not like a little doormat or nothing like that, but it's just like a servant-hearted, selfless person, like you really showed up as your best self, you were a good woman in a relationship, then yeah, most men, whenever they lose a woman like that, I don't care how handsome he is, how much money he got, how strong he appears. When a man does that, he knows that he took an L. Losing a good woman that also showed up well in the relationship as that good woman, that's an L. I don't care how many options he got. I don't care if it looked like he done moved on in a new relationship and he's giving that woman everything that you were asking for. I don't care. It is what it is. And the thing is about men is that whenever we take an L, we pretty universal in how we respond. The first thing we're going to do, and this is kind of a telltale sign as to whether or not he regrets losing you. The first thing we're going to do is try to numb the pain. Try to act like we don't feel it, try to actually not feel it. Maybe we're gonna fake it till we make it, not feeling it. As men, because this world doesn't embrace men who are broken and vulnerable, who need healing. That's just what it is. The world does not provide a universal safe place for men in general to be heartbroken, to cry, to be in regret about what we did. So with that being said, a lot of guys don't develop ways to heal, ways to process hard emotions, difficult emotions. Instead, we develop a lot of coping mechanisms, a lot of running habits. So you'll see a guy who regrets losing a good woman do things like run through a whole lot of women. Try to distract himself from the pain, try to quickly replace her, hopefully he can or whatever, just try to indulge in something that gives him an escape, or maybe spend some money he ain't got to spend, or surround himself with fake friends and stuff like that. Like you'll see him try to basically numb his way through the situation, suppress, instead of healing. And of course, that never works, at least long term. It only increases the damage. So for any man in this situation, there's no shame in feeling broken or feeling messed up like you really took an L. Like, shoot, it is what it is. I done took plenty of L's. Everybody done took some L's. But if you're in that situation, make sure you heal. But as a woman, if you want to know whether or not the man that you're no longer with regrets losing you, look for ways that, he's trying to numb. If you see him, again, popping up at different parties all over the place, like, man, that's not even realistic, then that man regrets losing you. Another way that you know that he regrets losing you, outside of the obvious begging and pleading and stuff like that, is displaced anger. And it may kind of confuse you after the fact, like, if y'all have any type of continued communication, any type of, co-parenting that you got to continue to do, or you're trying to be cordial or something like that, and you notice resentment from him when he's the one who messed things up, whether it's guilt trips, whether it's turning things around on you, whatever it may be, trying to come at you because now moved on in a new relationship with the next dude, and he used to be cool with the dude back in second grade, and how dare you, like all of that is displaced resentment, displaced anger. What that comes from is an immature mind. A lot of guys, again, women, y'all as little girls, y'all were raised. A lot of us males, we were coddled. We were coddled. We were never taught how to grow up. We were never made to grow up. And I'm talking about on a mental and emotional level. So a lot of times you may be dealing with a guy, or you may have dealt with a guy who presented himself as a grown man and technically is, but mentally he's a toddler. And what toddlers do, they don't know how to manage their emotions, especially when it comes to anger. They throw tantrums, they do all of this, that, and the other. So if you're dealing with a guy, and again, y'all are no longer in a relationship, but you notice there's a lot of resentment as if he was the one that was done wrong. Yeah, everybody goes quickly to narcissism, and it could be, but it could also be displaced shame, guilt, things that he should be directing at himself for fumbling the bag. And a good woman is a bag, like no other bag, but now he's putting that on you. Now, with that being said, I'm going to keep it all the way real. Some of y'all ain't going to like this. If you're in that place, I'm going to say this. You should not be dwelling on whether or not he regrets losing you. Now, I also don't want you to feel ashamed and like you're stupid or you're weak or you're dumb, because chances are you've heard that or you felt that about yourself, even caring whether or not this man regrets losing you. I think it's totally normal, because afterwards you're going to want some vindication that you weren't the problem. Or at least, you were worthy of more than the love that you received from that man. More than likely, you even fought for the relationship before you finally called it quits, before it was finally over, on the premise of doubt that maybe you're the one messing things up. Or maybe that, he's going to come to his senses eventually. So afterwards, it's normal to look for signs that, that confirmation that, oh, he knows that he lost a good thing. He did indeed lose a good thing. But let me say this, if that's the place that you're in, even though I'm not shaming you, I want you to shift your focus, man. This is what I want for I want you to shift your focus to, one, how do you bring your best self to the next relationship that you're in so that you can be future focused, not past oriented, but future focused, and understand that the man that you do deserve, he deserves the best version of you as well. But also, how do you better choose an environment that's going to bring the best out of you? Everybody everywhere you turn is going to tell you to heal. I'm going to tell you, not only do you need to heal, but you also need to choose an environment that doesn't cause you to have to heal. A lot of y'all, if you can be real with yourself, any ladies in here want to be real with themselves, that in past relationships that didn't work out, in some cases you were the problem. You may not have been the reason that it broke down. Anybody want to keep it real? You may not have been the reason it broke down, but you can admit, I wasn't my best self here. I did have more of an attitude than what I needed. I was a little bit, untrusting of this dude. I did come in with some resentment. I did yell at him sometimes or whatever. But let me also say this. A lot of times, y'all are not showing up as your best self in a relationship because of the way that you're being loved, because of the way that you're being handled, or mishandled, rather, should I say. There's an impact to the way a woman is loved. Like, I've said this before, I'll say it again. A woman who is properly loved becomes 10 times the woman that she was before. She becomes 10. So a man that you with, you have to be careful, not just in terms of knowing your worth, yes, but also get a man that brings the best out of you. When you paranoid, when you exhausted, when you hurting, you crying, you feeling neglected, when you experiencing, more loneliness in your relationship than you did as a single woman, chances are the best of you is not showing up in that relationship. Chances are, yeah, you do want to have conversations at the wrong time. You do take the wrong tone with him and stuff like that. Chances are you don't have as much energy as you should have. Chances are you don't want to be as sexual. Like, those are all benefits of a properly loved woman. Something that we talked about in that masterclass. Matter of fact, I'm extending access right now for anybody who missed out on that masterclass, the benefits of a properly loved woman, where we talked about the difference between a woman and how she shows up in a relationship where she's not being handled properly to a relationship where she's being protected and prioritized as she should be. And then we also talked about how to evaluate a man who can love you properly. If you missed that, click the link down at the bottom. It's pinned down in the comments, or back out of here. Click it, it's at the top. Click it there, get access to it. It's absolutely free, but the registration ends soon. The benefits of a properly loved woman, where I talk more in depth about how a woman changes. Some of y'all have never even been loved properly to know the version of you that you are whenever you're at ease, whenever you're at peace, whenever you're experiencing safety in a relationship, knowing that you're taken care of, knowing that you're protected, knowing that you can trust the man that has your heart right now, and the way that you achieve your dreams in that situation. the way that the quality of life and how that rises with a man who's properly handling you, who's properly taking care of you on the romantic end. Of course, no man is solely responsible for your happiness. But every man that comes into a relationship with you should be held to the expectation that he's going to properly love you. All right. But of course, again, you have to know how to evaluate him and all that other good stuff that I went in on the free masterclass. But moral of the story is this. Whenever you are mishandled by a man, or maybe you weren't mishandled, maybe the things just didn't work out, and this man is dealing with all type of regrets and stuff like that, that don't serve you to even care about that. And if you know that, the only issue that you have is how to stop caring. How to stop caring is to switch your focus. The energy is looking for a place to be invested right now in a way that's going to make you feel better. But I don't want you to not only do I want you to feel better, I want you to be better. I want you to live better. I want you to receive better. And the way that you're going to do that is by switching your focus to what's coming, to the blessing that you have on the way, to the blessing that you can attract better if you get back to being your best self. And not only becoming your best self, but protecting that with the environment that you allow yourself to go back into, romantically speaking. So again, I've talked more about that on my free masterclass, the benefits of a properly loved woman. And to any man that don't know it, man, click that link as well, because you need it as well. But again, this resonated with y'all, share this or let me know somehow, like it, whatever. Register for that free class.